Good morning, guys. It's December 15th, 2021, and it's about 5:30 in the morning. Today we're going to be talking about only one verse, and that is Genesis chapter 4, verse 8. And the reason I only picked this one verse is because it's one of those verses where you're like, whoa, and not whoa in a good way. Whoa in a uh-oh kind of way, as my kids would say. So I'm going to read it, like I always do, and then we're going to talk about it. So this is Genesis chapter 4, verses 8. One day, Cain suggested to his brother, "Let's go into the fields." And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. Remember when I said it's a whoa, uh-oh. Cain killed Abel. We all, like I said in other videos, we all know the story. But here's the thing. Sometimes in the Bible, God puts these, I can't believe this person did this, as warnings to us. And this is one of them. We now see the first murder. First of all, let's just talk about that. Cain intentionally killing Abel. Made a plan, brought him to the field, and killed him. I mean, it can't be more blunt than that. But we also, if we back up a second, we see sin. This is what sin does. It kills. Point blank. This is the second time we truly see what sin makes us do. The first time is the fall, when Adam and Eve sinned. And this is when Cain takes his anger, the anger that he had towards the fact that God rejected him, or God, said, no, I'm not accepting your gift. And in that anger, he sins and he kills his brother because he's jealous, because he's angry, because he's fearful. There's so many things that anger represents. It's said that anger is a secondary emotion to what we're really truly feeling. Now, I want you to know that anger itself, being angry, is not a sin. It's not. It's how we react to that anger. It's how we take the anger, take what we're truly feeling, whether it's jealousy or it's fear or, it's hurt, and we react. We react, whether it's severe enough, like murder, or even if it's slander, we're talking bad about the person, or, we're screaming. It's how we react that is the sin. I also want to put ourselves in Cain's shoes, because in this moment we can sit there and say, okay, Cain's a bad guy, Abel's the good guy, and that's the way it is. But before we jump to judgment on Cain, let's look at what he's going through right now. And I'm not making an excuse for Cain. What he did was wrong. But I want to understand what is going on in his head. Now, think about this. His brother and him offer God a gift. His brother offers God the firstborn lamb. Cain offers God the scraps. Well, God says that the gift from Abel is good, and the gift from Cain he rejects. And then God asks Cain why he's angry. And in that moment, Cain could admit why he's angry, but he doesn't. He takes that anger, he bottles it up inside, and then he reacts by killing his brother. But how many times have we been Cain in this situation? And I'm not saying you went out and murdered somebody, but I know for me, when I think I'm doing something wonderful and great and all that stuff and somebody rejects it, I get mad. I'm like, I just did this for you and you're rejecting me. There's the first actual emotion, is rejection. So this is the first time we see rejection in the Bible. And we could also say that this is the first time we see jealousy in the Bible, where Cain wants to be Abel. Cain wants to be accepted like Abel was. And so he's jealous of his brother. And in that jealousy, he reacts in anger and he murders his brother. So there's a lot of things that we're seeing here where sin has taken over. Sin has become, and God warned him. God said, dude, don't do this. Don't let sin take over. But he does. What I feel is that when we feel these basic emotions, these emotions of rejection, hurt, fear, jealousy, instead of admitting it to God, and instead of saying, God, this is how I feel right now, and stopping, we jump to anger. We jump to squash the thing that is hurting us, or the thing that's making us jealous. We want to control the situation, like Cain wanted to control the situation with Abel. Cain got rid of Abel, so in his mind he may be thinking, well, if I get rid of my brother, then God has to accept me. I don't know about you, but when I deal with anger, and I said this to a friend of mine the other day, I don't feel like I have a moment where I can stop and think about it. I can stop and go, okay, what am I feeling? No, I jump from what happens to anger instantaneously. But in that moment, and in this moment, we also see God. And it may seem, you may be asking yourself, what? How do I see God in Cain killing Abel? God gave Cain the chance to admit it, the chance to say what he was truly feeling. But he didn't. And the way we see God in this verse is God is telling us, okay, look, if you don't admit what you're really feeling, if you don't admit that actual emotion behind your anger, you're going to do something you regret. And that's what's going on here. Cain did the worst thing, killed his brother. So my question to you is, what gets you that angry? Like I said, I don't think you murdered somebody, but what gets you angry enough to curse them and other things? And what is the actual emotion? And I'll answer that myself. I get angry at my kids really easily because they're not listening to me. They're not doing what I'm asking them to do. And instead of anger, I should be admitting that I feel unaccepted. I feel unimportant enough to be listened to. And I feel rejected. That's how I feel. But I don't admit that most of the time. I just jump to anger and bitterness. And that's the thing that I pray every day that God's going to help me with. And we have to work with him. That's the thing. He's not just going to take it all away. He can, but he wants us to work with him in a relationship to succeed in whatever it is that we're asking Him to do. We need to listen to Him. And we need to admit to Him when we, number one, mess up. And number two, when we sin. When we feel these things, we need to admit them. We need to say, I am jealous. I am mad. I am hurt. Instead of reacting. So this is an ongoing thing with me. And if it's an ongoing thing with you too, I understand. And so does God. God knows we're not going to get it perfect. But God also knows our hearts. And if we're truly turning to Him and truly turning to Jesus and saying, I can't do this on my own, He will help us. So there's my hope for you today on this Wednesday, right in the middle of the week, is work with God on what it is that is making you so angry. And truly look at what you're really feeling. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys find Jesus in your life today. And have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.